Tuesday evening. My name is Kobe Spiking Nkrumah, and you're tuned in to Joy 99.7 FM. And every Tuesday at this time, the geeks converge. And we have a geeky, techie, sometimes nerdy conversation. We talk about technology and everything around it, about it, and in between. Today, we're talking about something that a lot of people throw loosely around. Viruses. Hey, Charlie, my phone get virus. My laptop, I have a virus. I've been infected. Charlie, my computer is acting weird. I have a virus. But do you really have a virus? Is it a virus? Is it a Trojan? Is it a worm? All these malware, as we like to call it, come to disrupt your daily routine. They just come to disturb you, and today we're going to talk about them. We're going to tell you everything about them, how to get rid of them, and about the ones that you don't have to get rid of. Yes, I'm sure you're wondering, really, is there any kind of virus that I don't have to get rid of? Unfortunately, yes. There are some viruses that are friendly that you do need on your computer. And with me to do this, there's no other me. We can't have any other person and a person who actually creates viruses himself. Quick one, Nancy. You're a notorious guy, right?
Not so. I'm a white hacker now.
I know you're a white hat hacker. But at one point in time, I came to your house. You're like, Spiky, check this out. And you gave me a Word document. I opened it on my computer. I typed my password. And then you showed me my password. You had access to my computer. You were keylogging me. You could control my webcam. You could practically just use my computer without me knowing.
Yes, that was a rat.
Yes, all from one Word document.
Sure.
So that's why I brought you here today.
You still have the footage from when you were hacking his webcam.
My webcam is covered.
Now,
Sorry.
but then.
Then it was for educational purposes, right?
Well, a few, pictures.
If you still have those pictures, I like to use them. Like to
Please,
update certain social media pages, like the JoyFM Facebook webpage.
All right.
And then, you heard the voice of Michael Clarkson Ajiti. He's not really a Clarkson, but
The Clarkson is silent.
The Clarkson. Yeah, the Clarkson is silent. And Winston.
What's up?
The guy who calls himself a photographer.
Yeah.
But still dabbles in computers more than the average photographer.
Yeah.
So, yes. Have you guys ever been infected by viruses, worms, or anything in between?
I feel like if you've gone to a Ghanaian tertiary education facility, you've gotten viruses before.
If you've interacted with any Ghanaian with any piece of technology, you have gotten
gotten a
at
virus
least one
before.
or two viruses.
Quick one answer. Do you get viruses?
Yeah, I do get them. Sure, I do get them, and I like them.
Oh, you like them when you get them, or you like them when you have them?
I like them when I get them because, it shows you how the whole thing works. And next time, you know how to go around yours,
Right.
That
So
teaches you a
what
lot.
is the difference between a malware, virus, spyware, Trojan? We know Trojan horses from the movie Troy, but all of a sudden there's something called a Trojan in the computer world. And it's apparently also a virus in quotes. So tell me, what are the differences between all these things that I've mentioned, the viruses, the spyware, the adware, the worms, the Trojans? What's the difference?
Well, you can put all together in, let's say, malware.
Okay.
All right.
So they're all malware.
They are all malwares. And they are all softwares, that are on your machine trying to do illegal things.
So malware, for the sake of our listeners who don't know, is malicious software. They just took the mal out of the malicious and then the ware out of the software, put it together and said malware. So if you know the word malicious, you know definitely what it means. And this man over here called Huguanas, he says he likes malicious software.
Well, malicious is good, You need to be. All right. So let's say, let me put it in a certain way. All right. So we have the first phase of attack. I'll put it in a sequence. Mostly, the hackers love the worm. They put the worm to use for first because that one doesn't need anyone's.
The worm, as in how we know it, Gogome.
Well, that's this is an internet worm.
And otherwise.
What it does mainly is, it's they have one that brute forces, every IP address and then tries to send a particular vulnerability You know,
Wait. IP address vulnerability. You know, not all our users have been to some IT school like you and everyone here, or it's not a tech savvy. What's an IP address anyway?
well, internet protocol.
The guy just made things worse.
That's very simple.
You know, I mean, if you don't get IP address, internet protocol. That's that is that simple.
We've gotten it. Listeners, if you've gotten it, please WhatsApp us and let us know that you understood exactly what we are talking about.
Mike, what's an IP address? Do you know what an IP address is?
Well, basically, an IP address is an online equivalent of your physical address. It represents you on the internet. Your IP address when you're on the Wi-Fi is different from when you're using your cell signal. But anytime you connect to the internet, your IP address is what identifies you as you.
So your unique identification. It's like your ID number, like your passport
there
number.
You are. And it ranges from you as an individual on your phone right to you collectively as a group within a building or within a compound, so on and so forth. Or even as a country. As a country, we all share a range of IP addresses. Great. That's generally what you're talking about.
Okay.
All right. So, knowing what the IP is, this IP addresses could be brute forced. You know,
brute force,
like he told you the country code. You know, you can use the country code to brute force it. That means, you know, you can try different numbers, different combinations, and try to hit.
When you have a safe and you're trying different combinations.
Yes.
Trying to get the right one.
Yes. Okay. You know that maybe some of Ghana's IP addresses starts with 40 or 197 or something of those sorts. So you use the first digit and then the rest
it's just a range.
And change them randomly. And then you keep trying the vulnerability.
Sorry, just to clarify to users, this is not somebody sitting down and going through it one by one.
No.
We'll do this thing many times per second very quickly, faster than any human can try. And it's also not someone with a hammer and nail banging away at his laptop brute force, and that is not quite what you're talking about.
We're talking about a software.
It's a software doing all this automatically. Yeah. So let's say vulnerabilities do come out. And when vulnerabilities come out, usually the companies do not patch. You see, so the hackers, like say solve the problem or you know try to seal the hole that is available now. Right. Since they do not do it, they don't like to update. Since updates, you know, brings a lot of issues. Maybe after update, then certain things get spoiled or something of that sort. Yeah. So they just sit down and then these hackers will create something, you know, a payload that can really hack that vulnerability.
Where a payload is, because when I hear payload, I'm thinking, you know, army
bombs away.
Well, a payload is just that little malicious thing that can penetrate.
So the worm that you're talking about, that's the payload.
No, that's not a payload.
Hey. So we're not even at the worm yet.
No, that's not a payload. You know, the payload is inside the worm. Yeah, the payload is inside the worm. The payload is actually the one going to open the gates for the worm to.
So the worm is inside the payload, you mean?
No. The payload is inside the worm. Let's say it's the kernel of the worm.
You know what,
isn't kernel something inside corn?
Decided to confuse everybody. No. We're going to dumb this down because you just keep throwing your hacking terminologies at the people. I'm sure people are just listening like, wait, what?
I'm sure they're going to understand. Let me just...
You think?
Bring it down a little bit.
Yeah, break it down further.
So just like I said, when these IPs are brute forced and they send, an already vulnerability, a vulnerability that has been found out by hackers and people have talked about it. All right. So it's available. And all the payloads that I've been talking about, that is the real file to attack. It's in there.
Okay.
So you patch it up and just hit. So the moment it hits and any computer that is vulnerable to that particular CVS or something,
CVS what?
Don't worry, it's going to be very long. When these vulnerabilities are found, they are given names. Yes, and that's how they are called.
Okay. So this has been a roller coaster. This has been a roller coaster.
Okay.
This is why viruses are so troublesome. You guys go through all this trouble to infect people.
What I'm trying to give you is a sequence that involves almost all the different types of viruses. They use them at different stages during the hacking procedure.
Right.
All right.
So, Winston.
Yeah.
You wanted to say something.
Well, you said let's try and dumb this down. So I guess definitions are in order.
They're in order.
Yeah. So a worm, like you said, there are differences between all these things: the worms, the Trojans, the viruses. Now, the virus is basically malicious. It comes into your computer, whichever way.
Mhm.
And the difference between a worm and a virus is the fact that the worm doesn't need any action to start with. Once it's in, and it just starts brute forcing and doing everything it's supposed to do. But with the virus, you actually need to execute the file in one way or one form. It could be just a folder. I mean, back in tech, there was this time where this virus came that kept replicating files.
I was just about to ask you to give instances of viruses and the rest.
Yeah.
And you just gave. Now that was a very stubborn one.
Yeah, it was funny. And finding out that the fix was quite simple.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, simple to some of us, but
Yeah,
quite
very
lengthy.
complicated to everyone.
Yeah. But yeah, so with the virus, once you open the drive, which is you executed the action, it takes effect. Now a Trojan, on the other hand, it just hides in there and it just bites its time. It makes everything feel like everything is running
normal
perfectly, but
till
it's
it's
just
time.
taking information and just stocking up. So yeah, the rest, adware, spyware. Adware is basically ads popping all over.
Now that is a problem that's plaguing Android users, Windows users, left, right, center.
Yeah.
Nobody spoke to you, Mike.
I mean,
Yeah, clearly, because we iOS users, at least those of us who don't jailbreak, don't get plagued with adware like that because
Oh.
Apple
I
takes
mean,
those things seriously.
no, you see, it's interesting, but Apple's malware attacks are very interesting. Like the Telugu thing, it
Okay,
is considered.
So this is a segue into a conversation that is totally not called.
No, but I'm giving another example of a malware that is basically something that was programmed, something normal you would do
Yeah.
every day. So basically, there was a time where the iPhones had the problem where if you type a certain Indian character,
yeah.
your
They
phone
crash the
breaks
phone.
and everything. And this is something people in India are probably doing all the time.
Yeah,
It's
they're
probably
always typing that.
yeah,
character.
that character.
It's
But
like H.
yes, so someone just created a malware or a virus that says that the execution for that is that particular character, and you hit it, and then so all these things, it could be anything. Like quick one answer was saying,
Yeah.
it could be anything.
So viruses, and we're gonna give instances of viruses that we've all experienced. If you've ever experienced any of the examples that we're going to be giving, just send us a WhatsApp on 0244340437. Or if you've experienced something that you think is a virus, a Trojan, a worm, or something, just let us know. Send us a WhatsApp message on 0244340437, and let's talk about it. So you were mentioning that very notorious one. You plug in your hard drive or your flash drive,
Yeah.
and that computer automatically replaces all your folders with executed files,
Yes.
executable files that look like folders.
Yeah.
And these things, if you click on them, infect you.
I mean, let me make it more relatable. You have done your assignment and you take it to a printer
Oh, yes.
to go and print your assignment.
And then you get it and everything is disappeared.
You go and you plug it. Everything is fine. Like
Until you
relatively.
come back.
Yeah, you come back and you plug it in and you open. I mean, maybe you want to watch some series. Yeah, normal. It's just a random Thursday, Tuesday nights. Yeah. Some Netflix and chill from your flash drive. Yeah, normal. Then you open it and then you click. And everything just keeps replicating. When you
Yeah.
click, it opens and it's the same thing you clicked before right there. And people kept clicking and clicking.
not
which was-
knowing the way, just infecting themselves.
it's a terrible idea.
And you
But
know, another thing that used to also trigger that was they took advantage of that autoplay
yes.
on the drive.
Yeah.
And so for those who usually plug in their flash drive and their external drives and then they just go and
Automatic.
double click on the icon and they end up infecting themselves.
Mhm.
So quick one answer. You're an expert in this field.
All right.
This virus, what were they aiming to achieve?
Well, it's still infection, you know, and most of these viruses, like what you are saying, are actually, country made. They are politically motivated,
Most of them.
Yep, these particular ones.
Okay.
Yep.
Why?
To have access to information, data, spy on different countries and do a lot of things.
Charlie.
Yeah.
They're gonna give the
You go do
those
and
people-
nobody go on in Lapi again.
Oh,
the
it is so.
conspiracy theorists are gonna have a ball with this information.
If you don't want your laptop, you can send it to us.
We are still looking for money to go to Barcelona, so yeah.
Charlie, this campaign, man. So now you mentioned worms,
Yeah.
which go around and then just
Yeah, a worm is the only thing that can stop the internet.
Wow.
Yep. Because, like I was saying, if the type of vulnerability can affect almost all the machines, then every single machine is going to be under control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So give me an example of a worm that has ever infected you or someone you know.
And there was this WannaCry worm and a few.
You got someone, you know, someone who got affected by WannaCry?
Not personally. Yep. But, you know, it causes a lot. You know, it destroys a lot of machines, slows them down, and then, you know, cause a lot of damage.
Michael, do you know
Millions
anybody
of
who got
millions.
infected?
I honestly don't remember. The last time I got infected, nearly got infected, was 3 months ago. A coworker handed me a pen drive. Well, sorry, I handed the coworker a pen drive, got it back. And the first time I noticed that, like, my icons look slightly different. Then
That's
the
the
bell,
first notice.
the alarm bell started ringing in my head. And I did a quick check to see if my files were safe. And as usually with these things, it was hidden deep in a folder. If you don't know how to look for it, you will never know that your
Yeah.
files are safe there. So meanwhile, you'll be clicking on these folders and programs, thinking, well,
These
everything is
decoys.
fine. And this stuff is just jumping onto your machine and infecting it left, right, and center. Thing is, if you know what to look for, sometimes you can even catch it even before the antivirus catches it.
Yeah.
But that's only if you know what you're looking for.
But the interesting thing is that some of these Trojans, until you do a deep scan with your antivirus, you are
You would
not
never.
going to find them.
Nope.
And also, you know, the worms, they just come and do something and just go. You know,
They come and
sometimes
do
they
their
have
job.
in them the payloads that I was telling you about. You know, it's like a housefly coming onto something and just leaving
Drops.
something and then going.
And then going.
Hey, we
Yep.
this.
Something.
So give us an example of some of the things that they come to drop.
Well, they drop Trojans, they drop viruses. You know, since they've had access to your machine, they've
Yeah.
been able to break inside. Now they drop the viruses and Trojans and, you know, keyloggers, spywares, everything they want onto it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's a keylogger for those that don't know?
Well, it's just, you know, a software, you know, hidden within your computer. Sometimes you can do it intentionally yourself, to follow whatever key you've typed and so on.
Okay, so with a keylogger on your computer, anything someone types is logged.
Any key,
So that's basically what the name is. The key logger is logging all the keys.
all the
Yeah.
keys,
So everything.
everything, and
Username,
sending them by
password.
email.
And sending them by email.
Yep.
So if you're chatting with someone and there's a keylogger on your computer, that
All
person's
your
getting
secrets.
Yep,
all your
everything.
secrets.
Yep.
That's why it's actually not advisable to send passwords to people. But anyway, well, if you're infected by a keylogger, regardless of wherever you type the password, the person's gotten it.
He will definitely log into your accounts on your machine.
So we've got a message from Na in Spintex.
No, nah, hi.
We miss you.
Yeah, do we?
I mean, there's someone
She's
we
always
miss.
there.
And she has a colorful name. But
I remember on Tech Campus, one of the common viruses people got was the one that hides all your folders. Exactly what we're talking about. I think it's what you just mentioned. Then it will sometimes replace it with exe files.
Yeah.
A tech friend of mine, however, showed me some basic command prompt that I could use to show my hidden files. dir /ah. Yeah. And even how to restore my original hidden files. It was such a lifesaver. And that little knowledge was all I used to impress my friends and solve these life-threatening issues, especially in the last days of project submission and all. You know?
Now knows what's
Did you
up.
charge them, please? At least
very
I'm
sure
killing
she
Willy.
charged. Well, now as a techie, we should get her in the studio one of these. Now
we
one of
should.
these will get you in the studio. Seems like you really love tech. So, quick one answer. Now, worms, they come, they deliver their payload, and they go. Now, Trojan horses. Troy, they come, hidden inside a horse, a wooden horse, and then they wait till at night when you're asleep. What do they execute on your computer?
They come out, you know, they are actually mostly backdoors. You know,
Okay.
they are Trojan downloaders, they are Trojans used for DDoS attacks. You know,
DDoS.
yeah.
That's like Windows DOS, Microsoft DOS, command prompt.
No, not that type of DDoS. You know, this type of DDoS where a server is hit by maybe 1 million machines at the same time.
Distributed denial of service.
Yeah, denial of service.
Okay. See, now I have to play the part of the audience.
That's good.
So this attack, basically, when you get a DDoS on your website, that's when it's like 1 million people visiting your website
Yep.
at the same time.
Yep.
And if you don't have
Enough
resources or bandwidth, then
No.
it shuts down your
Yep.
website.
going down.
So they use your, like, when the Trojan comes to infect you like that, it sets you up for that attack.
Yeah.
So when
That's
you
it.
are not using your computer and 1 million other computers that are connected or that have been infected, and then they all, like an army,
Yep.
go and attack.
They put it together, and you know, there is this CNC command and control center. Yep, that is run by
so like
a
the way you
boat.
see in the movies.
Yep, that's run by a boat.
Mhm.
So all these computers are in a boat net.
Mm.
Yep, yep. So the command can send only one command, and everybody will execute the same thing.
Right. Michael,
So you just give an IP.
why do you look so like somewhere?
Oh, no, I'm just waiting to get to the part where we start telling people on how to defend themselves from these things, because
Okay.
it seems to get a bit overwhelming. And now thinking, now, okay, so I have to worry about watch out for viruses. Hey, man, what am I going to do about Trojans? And it's my antivirus, okay? What's my antivirus is okay? What if the guy with my antivirus is, what do you call it, high and running away from governments? Like, these are things you have to worry about now. Because I'm sorry for our listeners, and they know it is true. If we tell them right now, okay, go and prepare yourself against DDoS attacks and what do you call it, execute firewalls against Trojan horses. They'll start sending messages like they're doing right now. Like, please, we beg, like, tell us what to do to take care of these things. I mean, it's like asking them, oh, if your car is going to explode, so dismantle it and rebuild it. They won't know where to start. So they say, okay, go and see this mechanic.
It's interesting that you mentioned antivirus. It's actually a virus called a fake AV, which is basically a fake antivirus. And yeah, we'll get to that.
Well, with that also coming to the antiviruses, the viruses are now attacking the antiviruses.
Yes.
They are interested in the antivirus software rather now.
Mm.
Because, when you see an antivirus software on your computer, you wouldn't get worried.
At
You
all.
think it's all good. Yep.
So
But
you're-
rather,
That's where
they've
the juice is.
uninstalled the original antivirus
And replaced it
and
with
replaced themselves with the logo and images as the same antivirus.
What's in it for those who develop these things?
A lot. Too much.
Too
Mm.
much.
Because you can create a virus or malware to do whatever you want.
Like,
I mean,
what? Can I create a virus to make me money?
Let me tell you
Yes,
something
literally.
interesting. There's something even called, it's called Abunzam cartoonware, right?
Okay, yeah.
And it basically makes you your device just download it. So
Okay.
it could range from being a funny joke to breaching an entire network or series of servers and shutting them down. I mean, Sony had a virus breach some years back,
Mhm.
and it was terrible.
The whole
It's
Sony.
terrible.
The whole Sony.
Yes,
And it was
yeah,
simply,
yeah.
it's
I remember very well.
their
What
data
happened?
was
Tell
breached,
us.
and they found the passwords to millions, or not billions, of people's accounts
Counts.
in a basic text file.
Someone like me, I wouldn't like to talk about this.
Yeah, but you guys, yeah.
So, because, things happen to the people. A lot of things happen.
Yeah, things do happen. And here's the thing: the thing with all these things, they're just granting access to information to your machines.
Mhm.
With your information, and bear in mind, they're not interested in you as an individual. They're interested in you
Your
as a
data.
collective group.
Yes.
And once they get a lot of people's data, it becomes
sell it.
invaluable.
Yeah.
They can access your bank accounts. They can access your contacts to spread themselves out to further people and access more of their bank accounts and get more of their information. Once they have control of your machines, they can use those machines to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
In between hacking other people
And
to
mining
literally
Bitcoin.
mining for money,
Cryptocurrency.
mining for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So it's actually a very lucrative thing.
Yes.
It's yeah. It
On
is.
the other hand, just so it is clear to you, if you remember, Kokonansi mentioned that he's a white hat hacker.
Mhm.
It's lucrative in both directions.
Right.
There's a black hat hackers who will do this thing for their own personal benefits, like we've been saying so far. The standard, when you say hacker, the image that appears immediately to your head. Those who steal money, break into
credit cards,
systems and
breaking into
everything.
And type plenty.
Yeah, all of that. That's the image. Like quintessentially, that is what a black hat hacker is.
Mm.
On the opposite side, you have those who fight against them, who are called the white hat hackers, who do the opposite of what those guys do. They will find the vulnerabilities for the sole purpose of getting them shut down. And it's not to be said that, oh, but if they are not stealing the information and stuff, how would they make money? They make a lot of money because once you find those vulnerabilities, people will pay money to know those vulnerabilities and get them locked up.
Yeah.
There's currently a bounty. How big is the bounty on Google Chrome now for finding vulnerabilities in there?
It keeps increasing.
I think it's in the hundreds of thousands now. And I don't think anyone's been able to claim a single one yet.
Honestly, think that most of them are.
They claimed on
are
Google
just,
Yeah,
itself.
they claim they.
Oh,
on
no, yeah,
who
Google
constantly
itself.
claim?
Yeah. But I feel like, the interesting thing about malware, viruses, and everything is that I have always felt that the most dangerous ones are the ones we haven't discovered yet.
Well, every day a new one is created that hasn't been discovered. And that's why personally I don't use an antivirus.
Gangster.
Same.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are hard.
Yep.
Because
You just find yourself a Linux machine and just relax.
Well, that is an option.
that
Linux.
is, if you want
Run
to
it
go like
totally
Jella
different.
does, running Linux Mint,
Yeah.
that's assuming that you want to continue writing SUDO all your life.
Oh god.
Well, it's got a graphical interface.
Yeah, but if you
so-
want to download an application, sometimes you have to fetch it from
We get.
from the server. I mean, come on. Nobody
I mean,
wants to go through that.
You like you are saying, switching OS.
But
It's a
you
good
do
idea.
realize that if a lot more people switch to Linux,
They will start making
viruses for Linux.
The
It's
only
because-
reason, yeah,
It's not
It's
going
not-
to work
it's not
very
po-
well.
it
It
will
will work.
They will find a way because the only
Why
reason.
won't it work very well?
This is an open system that anybody at all can
Which
detect.
even makes it more vulnerable.
Well, the same way around. You know, it's just the same way around.
This
Yeah,
a
you
cycle
have-
this is a cycle that goes in and out constantly. Even the noise my co-hosts make on me about whenever I jailbreak my stuff. Whenever a jailbreak comes out, people say, "Oh, your device is now vulnerable." But the fact is, they usually patch the mistakes Apple makes before Apple release a whole new OS for you to install. So while you are now downloading, penning your data, installing these new updates from Apple, I've already downloaded a file, 57 kilobytes. I'm free. I don't have to worry about these vulnerabilities anymore. But at the same time, someone else is going to discover a new vulnerability and it's counterhacked, and the cycle keeps going on and on and on. The fact is, hackers will always target what is most popular because that is where the profit is. Now, that is not to say that they don't hack Linux and stuff. We've mentioned a lot of these viruses and malware usually stem from government espionage efforts. There's governments trying to spy on and steal from each other. Am I allowed to mention countries on JoyFM?
No, you're not.
Okay. Okay, I can't mention the countries, but I'm sure a quick Google search to which countries really make a lot of these stuff, and it will surprise you. And a lot of, like they're saying, there's a lot that we don't know about, and it's literally because it's not aimed at the general public. It's literally them spying on each other, left, right, and center, just trying to steal information for a military advantage, and that's a military/political advantage, and that's basically what it is. People think that because guns are not being shot, there are no wars being fought.
Yeah.
Oh, bear in mind there are still lots of
Constant
wars being
cyber.
Just look
fought.
at this China-US issue where
He
most
said
of
it.
the modern.
You
this
said it
is
yourself
public.
that he
Well,
shouldn't
it's
say.
public.
Yeah.
It's public. It's
Okay,
public
it
on the
is.
web.
Yeah.
Where they send these devices and they were all backed.
Wait, what is public?
So if you want to join us on the conversation, you can call 0302-216-541. The number is 0302-216-541. You can send us a WhatsApp. I've got some very interesting ones here. 0244340437. So Pandora says, viruses are real. Yes, but in Windows operating system, we have something called a file certificate confliction, where your antivirus, either third party or security essentials from Microsoft, known as Defender now, sees a legitimate software as a threat. Not because it actually is, but because of the file certificate confliction. I know you might, well, I keep saying USB disk security, SmartDAV, and those other third-party USB disk security softwares are actually a deadly threat to your computers. So far as we keep using these so-called free security third-party softwares, we are never safe. My take on Microsoft Security Essentials.
I
So-
agree with him.
Yeah, I do.
The same. I don't use that's the same. I use Windows.
Yeah, I use what came
Yeah,
soft on
with-
the
with
device.
it.
Yeah.
Although he does make a point, and it's something that our viewers should bear in mind that there's a lot of false positives with
Yeah.
antiviruses.
Which is why I was saying that there's some so-called viruses that are on our computers that we should keep.
Yeah, but like it's quote unquote it's a virus, but then
you need it.
you need it. It's actually a very important
To-
system file.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
delete it.
I mean,
like
you needed to do something.
So,
these things happen.
Give us an example of this file.
I wish I would want to.
I
give an
have some
example.
files I can mention, but I'll get very kicked off. But so instead of mentioning what they are, I should let you know that you are at extra risk if you hack your software.
Obviously.
Yeah. Now I'm not really going to say much more into that because I might be putting my foot in my mouth. But yeah, extra is because here's the thing with these things. Sometimes people will be trying to get their hands on a piece of software and you want to extend it past its trial period. So you find certain programs that will extend that trial period by force. Now, people who write these things usually have the best of intentions, quote unquote, a communist outlook, like, hey, everything should be free, everything should be shared. But then there are people who will take advantage of that and modify these things to have a little surprise inside the file. And even then, a lot of these legitimate antiviruses will still flag them as unsafe because, hey, you shouldn't be doing that in the first place.
Yeah.
But then you also wonder that, is there something else in here, or is it just the program itself, or is there a little present?
Hello, Kofi from DC.
Yeah, Kobe, how are you?
Good. I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Very interesting discussion about viruses.
Right.
I want your guest to expatiate on this. I mean, sometimes we are told that some of these antivirus companies create viruses themselves just to force you to update or upgrade, you know, so they can keep making money. I wanted to tell us more about this because it's been in the system for a long time. Now, I also want to know, you know, I am somebody just like you. I don't like using antivirus programs, you know. By the time I realized that there was a virus that renamed all my files, you know, and then they are telling me to purchase something to get my files back and that kind of thing. So in that instance, what do? I just removed my hard drive from my laptop and bought a new hard drive, you know, because I couldn't actually do the renaming to get all my files back. So how can I get those files back? And also, thirdly, if you do not use antivirus program, what do you do to protect yourself? I mean, how can you become so vigilant so that those viruses will not get into your computer?
Right.
But please, I want all questions answered, please. I asked about 3. If I can go over them, or you can remember all of them.
Okay, Kofi. I can remember all of them. The ransomware, and then how to protect yourself. And then, that's the ransomware. So we'll answer your question. We have another call on the line. Hello, Jabba.
Hello.
Hi, Jabba from Adenta.
It's been an interesting discussion.
Thank you.
Yes, and I think it's a very important topic for us at this time. Personally, I took interest in malware and hacking because of past experiences from school. We all remember our projects and our files getting missing.
Charlie, this project.
So personally, I'll go on Google, find a way, and you see most of the time, people have already experienced such viruses or malware.
Yeah.
And then you'd learn something, and then you'd come and then you're able to solve the problem. So I feel right now we need to start building our expertise so that we can face this challenge.
Right.
Because information is the key. And with social media and with social engineering, now they are not targeting trying to hack brute force or by force. They'll try and study your behavior on social media, the things what you do, and they'll be able to find vulnerabilities. And then you have your social media compromised, your accounts compromised.
Great. Jabba, so right now, basically what you also do is you give people advice on how to protect themselves because you experienced it.
Yeah, that's the case.
Great.
Thank you. I feel the best way is to keep your mind open. Don't trust anything. And if you have any problem, search online, and then you'll be able to find someone who has experience or expertise. And one time you also get the expertise you need.
Great. Thank you for calling.
You're welcome.
We've got another call on the line. Hello, Nana. Hello, Nana.
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay. Yeah, so I've been following the program.
Right.
And I have a little question.
Sure.
I think one tool that will be very also useful for us listeners is that when I have, let's say, some malware in the background, doing things that I'm not aware of, sending information, gathering data and all that, you did explain there's one category of malware that could do this silently.
Yeah.
So what are some of the tools I could use to detect any such malware on my system, my laptop, my phone? Are there any things like that?
Yes. That's a great question. So we'll answer that very shortly.
And then that's my first one. And my second one is I've been seeing phishing. Phishing, what is that?
You've been seeing what?
Phishing. It's like PH.
Phishing.
Yeah, phishing, yes.
Sure. We'll touch on that.
Okay.
Thank you for calling, Nana.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so we've got a lot of questions to answer. A lot. Like the WhatsApp is buzzing. So let's get to it real quickly.
Okay.
So the first one.
Yeah, Kofi from DC, ransomware.
Mhm.
Not much you can do about that.
Well, that's why he had to take out his
yeah,
hard drive.
which was the best decision. You lose all your files, and unfortunately, that either you pay the money, which is
not guaranteed.
Yeah, which is not guaranteed
because
anyways.
they can tell you to pay again.
Yeah, or you lose everything, which it seems you have. So normally you just format. Just have to format.
He was also asking.
This is why backups are important.
Yep. So you back up and make sure it's not connected all the time.
Yeah.
I know someone who backed up his computer but always had it connected. So when he had ransomware, encrypt everything, his backup also got encrypted. You know, your backup shouldn't always be connected, because if the actual computer is infected, your backup also gets infected. So try and keep it away from the pack.
Yeah, what was the other question?
And the other question was, he doesn't also use, antiviruses. So how does he protect himself?
I mean, I feel like we can't answer with the best person.
For a normal user, you should
have an antivirus, which is very, very true. Yeah. If you're a regular user, you need an antivirus. Windows, Microsoft does come with Windows Defender.
And it's actually perfectly
And it's
fine.
actually very good. Just make sure that you are proactive. This is all I always ask people. Be proactive. Don't give in to just anything that especially free software that people are looking for. Free movies. Watching live soccer.
Literally, if you see something on the internet is literally too good to be true.
It is
nothing
with
is
all
that
the viruses
simple.
and so on. Apart from worms, there's nothing. All the rest, you are the one who does them.
Apart from worms,
you do them yourself.
You execute yourself. Basically. So stay away from free things if you don't know how. Always call on your IT guy and ask him, what do you think about this site?
Another thing is you should schedule deep scans for your PC. It takes a very long time to normally do it when you're about to go to sleep, because these quick scans, they don't really check much.
Hello, Ajiman.
Yeah, fine. Good evening.
Good evening.
I hope you are fine.
I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine too.
Great.
My question is simple, because it's almost the same as the first color.
Right.
But I want to ask, what is the vulnerability in our computers, and what causes the vulnerability?
Okay.
And is it a matter of these people creating the worms and the viruses so that we buy them for them to gain? How is it being done? Why the viruses?
Yeah.
This is my question.
Okay. Thank you very much for calling, Ajiman.
Yes.
So that's the same thing that Kofi also asked. What is in it for the antivirus companies creating these viruses? Do they get money? Do they actually create these viruses?
That's where fake AV comes in, where it's a fake antivirus. So these people actually either create viruses, or they tell you have a virus when you don't. And they'll ask you to pay for an upgrade to get rid of the virus. And actually, AVs.
But we also have,
most of these hackers, they don't really create the viruses themselves. There is this MFS console that is Metasploit.
Metasploit
in Cali, and it's got payloads ready.
So you just build
it up.
So it's like there's a
and
software
encode it.
That just creates viruses for you.
It's available.
I mean, the first virus was just a test. It was just, I wouldn't say for fun, but it was just to check something. And it just popped up a text. That was the first one. And then the second one was made by a kid, actually. All these things were normally done for fun till we realized that, we could do a lot more with this.
For example, look at drones. And they were just for fun.
Yeah. What was the other question? Oh, the vulnerabilities. Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like, Kwekwana should take that way.
Well, with the vulnerabilities, most of them are made by the softwares you install on their computers. And the programmers who are working on the software. Sometimes a software might not be vulnerable, but an update can make it vulnerable.
Yes.
Just trying to make the thing work better can put a hole inside it. And the hackers will also, anytime an update comes, hackers try to test it and find out whether there is something wrong with it or there is nothing wrong.
Just a few lines of code can change everything. It's just like it's called a virus because it's very similar to the human virus. Just a few changes in your genetic code and it's all over. So that's all it is.
So someone is asking that, is it true Apple computers cannot get virus infections? That's from Harry.
No, that's not true.
So no, it's not true. Apple computers can be infected by viruses. So someone said, I set my phone not to accept apps from unknown sources, but it's always installing apps by itself. And the more I delete them, the more they reappear. That's from K2.
Holy water.
No, his phone is rooted.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is rooted.
yeah, you do need roots on your phone for apps to be automatically installed. So
I mean, the interesting thing about smartphone malware is
it always relies on
it's
roots.
crazy. Like, I've heard of situations where there's this malware that makes your phone send a text to premium sites, and it will cost you money to send these texts. And you come, and if you're using a postpaid service, your bill shows up and you owe
A lot of
quite
money.
a lot, and you are wondering where this happens.
So bottom line, just don't install apps.
Yep.
Like
I'm
you
just
don't-
praying.
like
you
the
know,
sticker WhatsApp
sometimes
apps.
it may get to a point where you don't even need to install the app because certain hackers are trying to find ways in the normal
Basically, there's a
160
lot of
character.
risk. So how do people protect themselves? That's all they really want to know right now. Like,
Okay,
for-
well.
I mean, all the questions here, everyone is worried. Like, what's the best antivirus for my laptop and Android phone? How do I protect myself from being hacked? I am being hacked. My WhatsApp has been bugged. What do I do?
You know, that's a very interesting question
Hmm.
because all the things I've researched about, especially antiviruses on smartphones, make it seem like it's very redundant to have
An
an
antivirus.
antivirus on
Yeah.
your smartphone.
It-
It really doesn't do much.
It doesn't do anything.
So basically, what do you do?
Mischief can be an end result.
Mhm.
But so, first and most important step, be vigilant. Just be observant and take a bit more care of what you allow to get onto your machine. That's the basic
Yeah.
part of it.
Ask yourself, do you really need those things?
Or someone gives you a
I also
pen
saw
drive,
that,
don't just go clicking in this.
most of these
everything will be
people,
fine.
most of the people who get these viruses use these China phones. Yes, because you know most of the China phones can't go to the Play Store, so they use other alternatives. That is downloading the APKs
Yeah,
and installing
and those
them.
could be
Yeah,
infected.
you can patch viruses to the APK.
So there's this very funny question, or
Mhm.
interesting, not funny. Please, my phone is slow. Which virus can speed it up? That is very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting
Mm.
question.
His phone is slow. He needs
Is
a
it-
virus that can speed it up.
Reverse question.
You know what? Write it and share it with us.
We will
I'm sure a
definitely
lot-
make you a lot of money.
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
it.
because it's already been proven that the format in which the Android OS was made means that even if you have 6 gigs of RAM, it's not able to use the 6 gigs of RAM, which is why the new OS that's about to come out, Fuchsia, is supposedly better. So if you're able to write this, we will see you. I'm sure so many companies would definitely be interested.
So, Kobe, hi. Good listening to Geek Squad again. My meeting days has changed from Monday to Tuesday, so I don't get to listen regularly. Nice and educative to know all viruses are actually bad. Was funny initially, though. Thanks, Ifya and Osu. Good evening to resource persons. One name is kind of weird, though. Kwekwa Nancy. Really? So your name is weird. So, now, people have to be... There's another person who was asking about phishing, which basically I think we've dealt with on this show
Mhm.
before, but we will just talk about it again because we're almost out of time.
Very quickly, very basically, it's an attempted form of identity theft. It's trying to leave you in a position where you give your information out that you shouldn't be doing, or kind of like a fake website saying your bank account details need to be updated. Click here to input your account number, your credit card number, the numbers on the back, a picture of yourself, and then we'll call you at some point in time. And then you'll be there confused, and then saying like, why is my bank account empty? Aside me doing it. So yeah,
Oh,
things
Like
like
we
that.
just gave that information to them.
Human vulnerability.
I mean, the interesting thing about all of these viruses is that they're highly avoidable, especially internet-based ones, especially the ones from your web browser. Like recently, I normally enjoy looking at the ads that they put at the side and like, this person got $2,000 in 1 hour. And I'm like, I look at the picture, I'm like, really?
They've actually used a picture of that lady on...
Yeah,
was it?
Blackish.
Yeah.
Yes, Ellis Ross, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tracy Ellis Ross.
I mean, they write these things and they're like, in Accra, this person made this amount of, and you see it's a white dude in the Bahamas. And I'm like,
What are you trying to lie to?
But you see, people fall for these things. So someone says, guys, I tried installing Kaspersky antivirus on my phone. However, I had to create an account for that and link it to my Facebook account and a whole lot. Why this, Ishmael? I want to know the best antivirus.
Look, delete it, ban it, like
Just
throw the whole
get
laptop
rid of
away.
it. No,
His
is it on
phone.
his phone?
Oh, even worse.
I mean, like we were saying, antiviruses on phones.
Redundant.
Yeah, because the way malware works on the phone is totally different from the way it works on your computer. The way they are coming at you is totally different. The
But
game
there's-
is very different.
There's also an increasing number of antivirus software that have to be avoided. McAfee, Kaspersky. If you still use Norton, then your case is completely dead and gone.
Gentlemen,
Yeah.
Will you look at the time?
so the thing is, we still need to tell people how to be vigilant. Because from where I'm sitting, I think a lot of people they understand, okay, so you're telling us when we go to free sites where we go to watch free content and we're giving free stuff, we should be wary.
Yeah.
But how about someone who doesn't go to free anywhere, who relies on someone to install applications on their computer for them? Such a person is still vulnerable.
You know, I always say that your first point of call in this modern age that you have, Vodafone is about to go 4G. Oh, okay, sorry. Where you have internet, sorry, my bad. Is that you just Google it. When in doubt, just Google it before you ask people.
What was that about?
No, I was just talking about internet in general.
So basically, people should just Google it.
If you're concerned, just read up on Google and especially look out for things that have actual solutions on there, instead of just going through a circle of someone's asking the same question as you, but you don't have the results you're looking for. Look for the solutions that people have been able to get through. Because sometimes this is not like going to visit a doctor and he's guaranteed to take care of you because he's had years and years of study. This is someone who's had also years and years of study, but you could also be wrong because in the IT space, things move very quickly.
Yeah.
And someone may think he's safe, but this is not. We're not dealing with Ebola here, where the symptoms are clear cut. These are things that evolve by the microsecond. So if you feel that the person advising you is not doing the right thing, check out what he's done and see for yourself if he has or he hasn't done it.
And normally these websites highlight the answers. They tell you that this question has been answered, and it's normally
they actually
green.
give solved.
Yeah, solved, and then you click that answer. But generally, it's our own behavior that will save us.
So
from
I think
viruses.
moving on, we will have to give our listeners some tips that they will have with them wherever they go. So basically, they know, okay, when you experience these symptoms, this is what you're probably suffering from. You get it? Because we can say it on air once, twice, and then people will remember to forget. But if we give it to them and it's always available, like maybe they just go to their gallery and it's like an artwork or something, you can just go look at. I remember last time Geek Squad said when your computer slows down, or it takes this amount of time to boot from your login to your desktop, it means that you're probably suffering from this. So I think I'm tasking you three to do this.
I mean,
homework.
I mean, one of the things I would say is just check your tasks that are running.
How do they do that?
Right click on the toolbar, the taskbar, and it will check your run task. And you just look.
So you basically go to your task manager. What we usually used to do was Control-Alt-Delete.
Yeah.
And then check what is running there. If anything is weird, Google it.
Yeah.
If any application running in that list is weird,
doesn't sound
Google
right.
it. All too soon, we've run out of time. Thank you, Quick One Answer, for coming. Thank you for Michael for coming, and thank you, Winston, for coming. The
we
show
still
has
research
been
money.
Geek Squad.
Plenty money.
And my producer, Abeku Sanko Fidela Glanu, and Selwyn Ofori. And then it's the Fur Boy. You guys have always held it down for us. We'll catch you guys again next week. My name is Colby Spiky Nkrumah. Bye.